Welcome, everyone, to A Haunting in Stratton, penned by Ryland Mason, narrated by me, Brian Shepard.
Episode 8, Family Secrets. What should have been a nice, quiet visit with nothing but conversation and apparently valuable information turned ugly, as Wilhelmina was not pleased that a family secret had been divulged. The windstorm that she was creating within the room, everyone was taking cover, while poor Father Stan was getting the brunt of it as he was trying to leave. After Father Stan noticed his hands, he immediately let go of the door handle and backed away, meanwhile being hit with flying furniture. Dodging his way across, he made it to the rest of the group, huddled on the floor. Bear watched as her fury had no limits, as she was practically destroying the room. Ryan, who ended up in a corner, moved to be closer to Bear, as he was afraid something might hit him as well. Ryan didn't make it far. As he attempted to crawl across the floor, the hutch that was against the wall and housed pictures and knickknacks decided to come crashing down and land on him. "Ryan!" Bear yelled as he reached for him, which was no use, being on the other side of the room. Without even thinking about what was flying around, Bear got up from the floor and attempted to get to Ryan. The whole time that Wilhelmina had been in her fury of a tantrum, Bear had been trying to communicate with her by letting her know that everyone here was to help her and the others. Wilhelmina is either ignoring him or can't hear him. She had seen him move, and to stop him, the chandelier was then snapped from its chain and wires, causing it to smash to the floor, which then made the cut crystal break into tiny, sharp blades. This did not stop Bear in the least. His objective was to get to Ryan, who was not moving. Now, she had even more deadly weapons as the cut glass was floating in midair, and all in front of Bear. "Ryan, can you hear me?" Bear asked, standing frozen, very worried. At that point, it did not matter to Bear if Wilhelmina was in the room or not. To him, his focus was Ryan, eyes fixed on him and only him, and not worrying about her. Yet there was nothing he could do. She had the ability to inflict physical harm. Father Stan was proof enough. "Bear?" Ryan got out as his eyes began to flutter open. He must have realized what happened, as Bear could see the pain in Ryan's face, making it even more imperative that he get to him. "I'm right here, Ryan," Bear answered. At that moment, all Bear heard was, "Okay," and then a quick smile on Ryan's face as he said it. He also could see Ryan opening his hand. Did Wilhelmina notice something? As she was witnessing this interaction between the two, her rage and fury was starting to die down. One by one, the shards of glass fell to the floor. The now debris that was floating around pretty much came crashing down. Wilhelmina then turned and looked at Bear, then simply vanished. The next thing Ryan woke up to was being taken out by a stretcher to a waiting ambulance, a warm hand holding his. Good thing Jordan was there, as he was the only doctor in Stratton. He and Brian followed the ambulance to his practice on Main Street. Father Stan, who had a hand wrapped in tea towels, rode in the back of the car. Of course, the town was used to an ambulance arriving on Main Street, normally to deliver another dead body. Yet with the mayor and Jordan running into his office, those watching from their respective windows were curious. As Ryan was brought in, Bear was not allowed any further than the waiting room. However, it would seem that he would not be waiting alone, as Brian sat in one of the chairs, looking perplexed. That's when Bear heard the door open and Alice walked in. "Oh my God, Bradley, was that Ryan they brought in?" she asked as she walked over to him as he continued to pace back and forth. At that moment, it was Brian who spoke up and began to tell Alice what had happened in a roundabout way. Bear was thinking too hard as again he continued to pace. Why did she stop? And why didn't he see this coming? Then again, how could he? He didn't know that the mayor over here would make her angry. This had Bear a little heated. "Did you really have to say that to her? Or did you forget she would be listening?" Bear said as he pointed to Brian. "I'm sorry, Bradley. I did not know that she was capable of doing something like that. I feel horrible that this has happened," Brian replied, getting up from the chair. Alice just looking back and forth between the two, trying to figure out what was she not told. "Are you two okay, or do I need Dugan?" Jordan asked as he came out from the back. "How is he?" Bear asked, completely forgetting about Brian. "He's awake. He has no broken bones. No internal injuries that I know of. How heavy was that hutch?" Jordan asked, as he watched Bear struggle just a bit to lift it off Ryan once she vanished. "A hutch fell on Ryan?" Alice asked from the seating area. She had been listening the whole time. Everyone turned to look at Alice, who just sat there, closing her mouth. They then went back to talking. "It should have done some sort of damage. That thing is at least 200 pounds. It took everything to lift that," Bear said, confused. Bear did not witness it falling on Ryan. He just saw the aftermath. So another mystery on their hands. "Can I see him?" Bear asked as Jordan nodded. "Please tell him I am sorry for saying anything. I just thought that he would want to know," Brian said as he sat back down. Jordan led him to room 2, knocking before walking in. Jordan let Ryan know that Bear was there to see him. He then excused himself as poor Father Stan was in room 1, needing his hands cleaned and rebandaged. "Hi," Bear said softly as he approached the side of the bed, taking Ryan's hand into his. A smile on Ryan's face told Bear he was feeling better. "Hi," Ryan tried to get out as his voice was a bit slow. "Jordan said you are in perfect health besides the cuts and scrapes." "Molly," Ryan said as he looked like he was trying to think back at what happened. "What about Molly?" Bear asked. He did not remember seeing her in the room. In fact, any time Wilhelmina shows herself, Molly is nowhere around. Sad that even in death, she's afraid of her grandmother. "I swear I saw her when I was on the floor just before I blacked out," Ryan answered, now more alert, and finally realizing she must have helped him. If not, he would not be able to get up and walk out the door. Something would have been broken, either his back or his legs, yet nothing. Simple, he thought. I will just have to ask. I didn't notice until after it came down, so it's possible, and if that's the case, then I'll have to thank her 1,000,000 times, as I was unable to get to you, Bear said. Just the thought of not being able to help Ryan, seeing him lying there in pain, if he was not in a rush to help and get rid of this evil broad, he was now. We will have to go somewhere else and have this discussion. As you know by now, ghosts can hear you, especially those who don't like family secrets aired out. Jordan has invited us over when you're feeling up to it. Oh, yeah, I agree. No more talking about my roommates in front of them. When can I leave, Doc? Ryan asked, as out of the corner of his eye he saw Jordan peeking around the door. You may leave when you get dressed. You will be sore because of the weight. I am giving you a few muscle relaxers for when you're ready for bed. I'm not sure if Bradley already told you, but Brian is in the waiting room, as he feels really bad about what happened. It's okay. I'm sure I'll learn more when Bear and I visit. Did he say when that would be? Tomorrow, say around 5. Come hungry. Sounds good. Is Father Stan okay? Ryan asked, as the last thing he remembered was him trying to leave and getting attacked. Yes, he's fine. Just some minor cuts on his hands, all bandaged up. I believe he told me to tell you he expects you in church. Everyone laughed at that bit. Jordan and Bear then slipped out of the room so Ryan could get dressed. Stratton County has always left people with more questions than answers. While the town is dealing with a mysterious murderer, Ryan is now dealing with ghosty roommates who are not leaving, some good and some bad. And then there's Wilhelmina, who was on a whole nother level. Physical harm. He would have to do something about this, and fast. Even though Ryan didn't want to hear what Brian had to say, as it landed him here, wouldn't the next time be a body bag? Just the thought of it had him not wanting to return home. Would she be there waiting for him? Finish what she started? No, he can't run away. The house belongs to him. There has got to be a solution to this to where he can help everyone, or at least live together without interfering. That thought had Ryan laughing out loud. Ready to go home? Bear asked as Ryan opened the door. Yes, thank you. And it was Ryan who reached for Bear's hand. Hello, everyone. Well, I'm going to also do something that I've never done before. I'm actually going to read a teaser to the next series that I'm going to be writing, which we're going back to Jack Jamison. So I have just a teaser for everyone, and I'm going to read it now to get everyone kind of interested in that. And if you haven't read the first one, go back and read it. It's out. So I encourage you. It's 10 episodes already out there. And you'll be ready for when this comes out. So, Jack Jamison teaser. The title, I think, is going to be The Curse of the Egyptian Treasure. But it's Egyptian. So, yeah, something along that lines. All right. Still in progress, I guess, right? Yeah. Okay, here we go. After showing up at Mayor Shepard's home in Stratton for a combination code he needed, he no sooner gets there, and now he was saying his goodbyes to Mayor Shepard. He and Christopher were off to Albany to catch a flight, so no time to enjoy the mayor's ball. What's wrong with you? Jack asked as he got back into the car and could clearly see Chris was not happy. I have a sweet tooth. I could just smell the cake he had in there, crossing his arms in front of his chest. Am I not sweet enough for you? He asked. Not at the moment you're not, no. I could have had cake or something. Anita was in there. Shall we go back so you can have some cake? Jack asked, with a grin as he knew he won. That woman is everywhere. So, are you going to tell me what we're up to? Let's start with you telling me where we're going. We are going back to the Majestic Star, he replied, as he looked over his tablet. To Chris, it looked like ship blueprints. The star is on the bottom of the sea. I know, we were on it. Oh no, let me guess. We're going back because you left the water running in the room. No response, as Jack continued to scroll through pages of ship layout and outside access points. Seriously, why are we going back? We are needed at the Egyptian Museum of History in Cairo. He reminded him over and over about this appointment. Museums all over the world have been in contact about various items that they would like for them to research and see if they can find them. I need something on that ship. Yes, it's connected to our trip to the museum. Everything is already arranged with the Majestic and a friend at the Woods Hole Institute. No worries, Jack said, as the driver continued down the highway and towards the airport. They have been asked to find a lost treasure of immense importance to not only the museum, but Egypt itself. Chris had every right to be worried. Something always goes wrong. He would be right, as they were not the only ones who caught wind of this hunt. Thanks, everyone.